Find out what Volusia County's Beach Safety Division is doing to make sure the little ones have a safe and enjoyable time at the beach with their families this summer. Hello and welcome to Volusia Magazine. I'm Amber Patterson. On today's show, we can see how the Beach Safety Division is proactive in safety concerns using a special type of bracelet to help keep families together. And did you know that Votran buses participate in a nationally recognized program called Safe Place that provides access to immediate help for all young people in crisis? Then Here and Now correspondent Joanne Magley takes a look at the University of Florida Volusia County Extension Service and its 100 years of service. Finally, Community Information Director Dave Byron will be in the studio with his guest, Keith Norden, President and CEO of Team Volusia, for an in-depth interview. Those segments, news, and more coming right up on Volusia Magazine. Stay tuned. On a busy beach weekend, it's not unusual for a dozen children to go missing temporarily on Volusia County's beaches. Children can get lost on the beach because of the crowds, or they may be pulled northward by the current. Even if you're watching them carefully, a small distraction can cause you to lose track of your child. So far this year, 67 missing children and 9 adults were reported to Volusia County lifeguards. Fortunately, lifeguards located them and returned them safely to their happy families. In most cases, a child asks a lifeguard for help, but sometimes they're too young to describe their parents or the vehicle they arrived in. It may take lifeguards a few minutes or a few hours to help find parents. To speed up the reunification process, Volusia County's Beach Safety Division introduced rescue bracelets earlier this year. RESCUE stands for Reuniting Everyone Safely and Quickly. The waterproof, disposable bracelets are given to parents at toll booths and lifeguard towers. Parents are asked to write their child's name and their cell phone number on the bracelet for quick identification and notification.
One of my officers, Officer Sasha Medina, came to me one morning and said she had an idea of how we can reunite children back with the parents. We struggle with an issue on the weekends and the holiday weekends when it's really busy down here. We struggle with the fact of children get separated from the parents. And we go, and it's very stressful for our guards and our officers trying to reunite these people back together. So Officer Medina came in with an idea of a bracelet, and she actually came up with an acronym called RESCUE, Reuniting Everyone Safely and Quickly.
I've actually seen it be used before in other similar life-saving agencies and thought that we would be able to benefit from the use of this bracelet as well. This is also going to benefit elderly people suffering from Alzheimer's, dementia, or some other adult mental illness that sometimes may walk away or get separated from the party that they're with as well.
Volusia County's Beach Safety Division offers additional tips to help you keep track of your children and find them if they wander off. First, monitor them closely at all times. Mark your spot. You can bring a large, colorful umbrella or a pop-up so your child can look for your umbrella instead of you. Show your child the hotel or another landmark you are near. Know your lifeguard. Tell your children to go to the lifeguard if they become lost. Take a photo of your child at the beach. This will help lifeguards find your child because they'll see what they're wearing and exactly what they look like. If your child does go missing, go immediately to the nearest lifeguard tower for assistance. For information about the Beach Safety Division, you can visit volusia.org/beach. When you think of a safe place, what do you think of? If you're like most people, you probably think of your home, a friend's home, the police department, or fire station. Did you know that Votran buses are also considered a safe place? Safe Place is a nationally recognized program that provides access to immediate help and supportive resources for all young people in crisis through a network of sites sustained by qualified agencies, trained volunteers, and businesses. Votran has been a part of the National Safe Place program since 1990. Every Votran bus displays the Safe Place sign, identifying it to children as a place they can go for help, a place they can be protected.
Each one of Votran's vehicles and facilities is considered a safe place. And you'll be able to recognize the safe place program and a safe place locations by the decals that we place on the vehicles or that we place on the doors of the facilities.
All Votran drivers have a direct line to professionals trained in crisis counseling. Votran operators do not provide counseling. They provide a safe haven until those in need can be connected with someone who can help.
Whether they're in immediate danger, whether they're in a situation at home that they need help and they just don't know where to go, this is an outlet for them. This is a way for people to get help. If they're in a domestic situation, if they're a child in need of help, or if it's somebody in immediate need of law enforcement help, then there's somewhere for them to go. And Votran buses are all over the place. They're all over the county.
For more information, you can visit Votran.org. Flying Daytona Beach International Airport is just plain easy, and it's also convenient for business travelers. The airport has a complimentary business center that travelers can use, which is supported by the county's Economic Development Division. The 720 square foot food center at the end of the concourse near gates 5 and 6 offers Wi-Fi internet hookups, privacy desk with comfortable chairs, charging stations, and a printer. But Steve Cook, Business Development Director for the airport, said there's much more that makes flying out of Daytona Beach convenient for business travelers.
Well, we have a number of things at our terminal. We have very short walking distances from the parking lot back and forth to the terminal. Many airports don't have this. You have long lines. We don't have that. We have a very convenient security check-in station. The most modern equipment that the TSA has out there is available in our airport. We can get you through your security check-in easily, comfortably, in record time. If you have something that has to be surrendered to the TSA, we actually have a mailback system where we will send whatever the object is back to your home address at no cost to you. So we provide that. Down by the ticketing area, we have a weather and flight tracking kiosk, which is operated by Embry-Riddle, and that's open for the customer. You can see what the weather is and the destination that you're traveling to. We also have flight tracking, where if you know the flight number of the plane you're interested in, you can see exactly where it is in the system, when it's going to land, and so you have very, very exact information at your beck and call at Daytona Beach International Airport.
Daytona Beach International Airport also has a conference room available for on-site business meetings. The 3,000 square foot Volusia room is on the second level of the main terminal and features a 1,300 square foot pre-function area, ideal for greeting arrivals and socializing. For more information, you can visit flydaytonafirst.com and click on Business Passengers.
I'm Joshua Wagner with the Volusia County Council. If you're going to one of our beautiful beaches, have a great day and come back often. If you drive on the beach, please observe the 10-mile-per-hour speed limit and be very careful of pedestrians, especially children. If you're visiting with children, watch them constantly and take small children by the hand when crossing traffic lanes. You might want to use one of our traffic-free zones. For more beach information, please visit volusia.org.
This year marks the 100-year anniversary of the University of Florida Volusia County Extension Service. This real-life learning approach, established in 1914 by the federal Smith-Lever Act, is one of the world's largest education and development organizations. Joanne Magley has more.
The University of Florida Volusia County Extension Office is celebrating the centennial of the signing of the Smith-Lever Act, which created the nationwide Cooperative Extension Service. David Griffiths is the director of the county's Extension Office.
The system was developed by the Smith-Lever Act to take information and research from the university out into the community to help those in need. And it worked also so that the problems in the community were brought back to the university for research to hopefully to solve those problems, mainly in the agricultural and the home economics fields.
The model of the extension was developed in 1914, and while times and needs have certainly changed in the last 100 years, Griffiths says the model is still pertinent today.
We've become more of an urban state, and our areas of expertise have changed. We now cover natural resources, dune restoration work, invasive plants and animal species, entomology, things along those lines.
In the early days, around 1916, the extension would send home economists, at the time known as home demonstration agents, out into the farming communities to teach homemakers skills such as canning and sewing. Kathleen Bryant, a family consumer science extension agent, says years later, many of the homemakers involved with the extension office became instrumental in creating the school lunch program.
I think it was about 1922 where the homemakers, the mothers of the children in the schools, saw a need that there were children that were not getting enough, they were not able to get hot food, meals for lunch at the schools. And so the Extension Homemaker has not only a state of Florida group, but then there was a national group, and they had a big campaign to establish hot lunches in the school system. And that was kind of a big campaign that went through the Congress.
Today, extension agents reach more than 2 million people each year through presentations, telephone calls, lab diagnoses, pamphlets, and other outreach programs.
The term extension does just that. It extends the research information from the university out into the community. That was the model that was developed in 1914, and it's still current today.
For Volusia Here and Now, I'm Joanne Magley.
Let's join health reporter Stephanie Strong for this report from the Volusia County Health Department.
It's nice to be recognized for your hard work, and that's exactly what the Prudential Productivity Awards do. Of the 54 statewide awards received by the Florida Department of Health, DOH Volusia received 8 of them.
We're very proud that the Volusia County Health Department has received 8 Davis Productivity Awards, which is a reflection of our constant efforts to try to improve our efficiency and become more cost-effective as a government agency.
Let's take a look at the DOH Volusia projects. HMS Reporting Dashboard Setup Tool.
Basically, IT would click on the EXE, and it would install all the server settings, and it would set up the max set records to allow the dashboard to view more than 100 or 200 records. And this is done automatically, and the user can install it, and IT can install it for them, and made it easier for IT and the users in general.
The dental brochure team created this dental sealant brochure explaining what dental sealants are and why they are so important. The Hotkey team was recognized for creating an electronic health record enhancement. The team worked with the clinical staff to increase efficiency by creating customized hotkeys, allowing automatic input of medical information by using one keystroke. This process has also been implemented in other counties. Vehicle Fuel Efficiency Project.
We were able to determine what kind of car to get, and we purchased 6 brand new vehicles. One vehicle, we got up to 41% better mileage, fuel efficiency of that vehicle, and everyone else was up to 24%.
Free children's book program for clinics. When children visit DOH Volusia waiting areas, they enjoy reading books. DOH Volusia was recognized for creating a program that allows children to take their favorite book home with them at no cost. The program is possible because of donations by Half Off Books in Orange City. DOH Volusia employees enjoy sharing the good news that the book can go home with the child.
Oh, I can say for a fact that when they hear that they can take a free book home, they are so elated, and the parents are so grateful. The children, their faces light up, they smile. They actually run to the books while the parent is actually finishing the application. So it gives the parent a little bit of free time, and the child is very enthusiastic.
Preventative Dental Program. Expanding school-based preventive services to additional grades leads to reducing the cost of providing preventive dental care to eligible children and allows an increase in children to be served in the same time frame. Drug pricing program.
We have a contract with the Department of Corrections in which we provide them with the medication for the HIV patients. We go out and provide care, and in return it saves money because we get the medicine at a cheaper rate than the Department of Correction pharmacies would.
Nurse productivity with local value unit team.
So we worked with the clinics and staff, and we came up with a productivity based on continuity of what everybody was doing, and we had buy-in from all the clinics and all the staff, and it worked real well, and we saved the state some funding and some money, and we're proud of what it was. It was a 5-people team, and I was the lead.
The Prudential Productivity Awards program is a public-private partnership co-sponsored by Florida Tax Watch, the Florida Council of 100, and the state of Florida.
You know, Florida Tax Watch believes that this is such a big award because we recognize, we reward, we try to replicate excellence in state government. It shows that government productivity is not an oxymoron.
The 2014 awards competition attracted 568 nominations from Florida's state agencies for innovations and productivity improvements, resulting in $558 million in cost savings, cost avoidances, and increased revenue for state government. For more information about the Prudential Productivity Awards, please visit www.floridataxwatch.org. For Volusia Magazine, I'm Stephanie Strong, Public Information Officer for the Florida Department of Health in Volusia County.
Economic development in Volusia County is a real team sport. And Keith Nordick is Team Volusia's president and CEO, and his team is always working to recruit companies to relocate in Volusia County. Today, Keith joins Dave Byron, Volusia County's Community Information Director, to tell us more about Team Volusia.
Well, thank you, Amber, and hi, everyone. Economic development in Volusia County sure is a team sport, and the new company recruitment effort is led by Team Volusia Economic Development Corporation. Keith Norden is Team Volusia's president and CEO. He's been on the road a lot these days, pitching Volusia County to companies that may be looking to expand or relocate to our area. We haven't talked with Keith for a while, so we thought we'd catch up on how things are going. Keith, how you doing today?
Great, Dave.
Keith, for those people that have not heard of the Team Volusia Economic Development Group, tell us about your organization.
Sure, it's a public-private partnership, and it really came about by the ingenuity and of the county council by actually funding the group so that our other cities in Volusia County, we have 16 cities, we now have 10 funding us with a couple of others considering funding us, leveraging that with private sector dollars. So we have a total of 75 investors and about 60 are private sector companies and organizations.
So, you know, the county has an economic development division. You've got Team Volusia, and then of course we've got the CEO Alliance and others. And so really there are multiple partners in this whole economic development effort here in Volusia County.
There is, and of course the county's Department of Economic Development does a great job with expansions and retentions and the product, and CEO Business Alliance does a little bit of everything. But we also have the Chambers of Commerce, we have the workforce units, and we have the colleges and universities that actually train our citizens for jobs.
I know you really and truly have been on the road. I mean, you've been literally across the big pond and in Canada, and you know, you've been all over. When you go out on the road and you're selling Volusia County, what's the sales pitch?
Well, actually, it's identifying and raising awareness of Volusia County as a business destination, a place for business. So we're well known for the world's most famous beach. We're well known for racing. But in order for a business to consider us, they have to know that this is a good place for business. So that's what we've been doing with the corporate end users, and particularly the site location consultants who are hired by companies to identify locations which are appropriate to to locate or expand to.
Well, you know, in the real estate business, they say location, location, location. And speaking of that, you know, it's been recently announced that there's going to be a big warehouse project on I-95. It's associated with the Trader Joe's grocery chain, which is a well-known national brand, and they're going to build a big warehouse on I-95, and that's all about exposure, is it not? I mean, that location at I-95 and I-4 must be a major asset to
It
sell.
is. And, you know, we are one of the few communities that have I-95, and we are, you know, have I-4 coming into it. Great sites along I-4 as well as I-95. And in fact, just recently we had McCallum Sweeney come in, hosted by Duke Power, to do an assessment on a large site in Deltona, which met with wonderful marks, and that's 260 acres. And of course, we have a large landowner, Consolidated Tomoka, with 860 acres for an industrial park, which is where the large refrigerated warehouse is going.
Yeah, let's stick with that Trader Joe just for a second, Keith, because, you know, if you think about Seminole County, and you think about, you know, those industries that are located right there, clustered right in Lake Mary and so forth. You know, it's sort of like auto dealers locating together. And so here you have this warehouse coming in from Trader Joe's. Do you think that might be the first bird off the wire in that location? Because that is prime space.
Oh, it is. They have great plans to develop that industrial park. You know, they have great amount of acreage, but for the industrial park, it's about 860 acres.
Right.
So that's the initial project, one of the big projects for that acreage. And then we have other sites on I-4 and I-95. So we are destined for great development of large projects. In fact, when McCallum Sweeney laid out their buildings in a proposed site map of the Deltona Commerce Park, they put 2 million square foot warehouses on the site.
Wow.
So, you know, 860 acres can house a lot of mega warehouses or manufacturing centers.
Right.
So, you know, we use the term distribution centers, but it can also be a large location for a manufacturer.
And those manufacturers, speaking of manufacturers, they're paying good money these days in terms of annual wages. My understanding is our manufacturers, on average, are up over $40,000 in the wages that they're paying. So these are good jobs in the manufacturing sector.
They are, and that's the message I take on the road with me, that we do have over 400 manufacturers here in Volusia County with a great manufacturers association.
Keith, obviously, you know, Florida is well known for its beaches, obviously well known for its great weather and so forth. You know, as you said earlier in our interview, you're trying to get the message out that this is not just a fun place to go, it's a good place for business. Let's talk about cost advantages, because it's always been my understanding that Volusia County and Florida in general, but Volusia County has some very strong cost advantages. How do you play that up when you're on the road?
Oh, well, it's a matter of fact that our Florida taxes are well positioned and are moderate. We have no personal income tax in the state of Florida. But more importantly, our taxes, even with the county, compared to higher cost areas in the Northeast, Midwest, California, we are an attractive place to do business. Our average wage is lower than and competitive when compared to other areas of the country. So bottom line is always a major decision when companies tend to decide to expand or relocate, and we always fit in very favorably.
Keith, you know, you mentioned that, you know, there are many players in this economic development team that we have, and you mentioned the educational institutions that we have. Obviously, if you're talking about a manufacturing company that may want to come here, they have certain skill sets that they need, and it's my understanding that Daytona Beach, Daytona State College, for example, can tailor training programs to meet the needs of manufacturers. I know recently they've been concentrating on the CNC training to get those operators employable.
That's correct, and they do a great job. In fact, we had a large bakery come in visiting yesterday, and we met with Daytona State College and the Culinary Institute there. So it's across the board. It can be CNC operators. It's whatever the prospect needs as far as training, and they can develop their own training course.
And of course, you know, we have, you know, one of the world's premier aviation colleges right here in Daytona Beach, Embry-Riddle, and they're doing just some, I mean, just jaw-dropping research, and they're doing some things that are just truly cutting edge over there.
They are, and that's a key component of our visits when we're dealing with aviation and aerospace companies.
So, Keith, as we close our interview today, you know, what's in the pipeline, do you think?
Well, we've got a very strong pipeline, and that's what's so exciting. A lot of our projects are self-generated. So, of course, we have some that came in with Enterprise Florida, but today we have 33 projects with, in the later stages, companies that have actually visited at their own cost. You know, we don't pay their transportation, we don't pay their hotels, but the companies that have visited, that have qualified, that are in negotiations, we have about 2,500 possible jobs coming from those projects. We have 4 projects in negotiations and 2 pending announcements. So it's a bright day for Volusia County.
You know, it took a while, you know, to get the team, you know, well-oiled and working together, and of course, you know, we had to get through the downturn in the economy. We know that the housing market in Volusia County is really booming these days. It does seem as though, you know, it really is a bright horizon in Volusia County.
It is, and you know, I'm very pleased with the leadership and the political leadership and the private sector leadership I have at Team Volusia. You know, they're passionate, and they're all wanting the Volusia County to exceed and expand, and its economic vitality to rise.
Well, Keith, I'm glad we've had an opportunity to catch up with you. We haven't talked with you for a while, and
That's right.
It does seem as though, well, of course, I've been trying to get to talk to you, but you're never in town.
Sorry about that, Dave.
But it really is great to talk to you, and it does sound like things are really going well. So thanks for being with us today.
We're excited. Thank you, Dave.
Our guest today, Keith Norden, Team Volusia President and CEO. And with that, we'll go back to you, Amber.
Thanks, Dave, and thank you for watching Volusia Magazine. If you have any questions about the show, you can feel free to give us a call at any of the numbers you see listed here, or you can log on to volusia.org and click on the News tab at the top of the screen to find us. Incidentally, you can find the County Council's meeting calendar there too. In fact, you could use volusia.org to find out about meeting dates, workshops, topics of interest, activities, and how you can become involved. And we hope you won't forget to listen to Volusia Today. That's Volusia County Government's weekly public radio broadcast. Volusia Today airs every Tuesday and Sunday mornings on the local radio stations you see on your screen. For Volusia Magazine, I'm Amber Patterson. Have a wonderful evening.